Okay, so I haven't put out a video in a while, and I apologize for that. Um, it's not that I haven't been repairing Commodores. I've actually been repairing quite a few, but they've been such easy repairs, like PLA chips needing to be replaced, things like that, that they just weren't worth the videos. But I do have another stack of C64s waiting to be looked at, and I do have 3 more SS64s waiting to be looked at as well. So hopefully there'll be some challenges there that I can post. In the meantime, I wanted to touch on something that seems mundane, but if you move your disk drives around a lot, you transport them a lot, or if you sell them and you're shipping them out, one of the key things that you might, well, that you should consider are these, what are called, Commodore calls them head vibration protectors. Some other people call them transit cards. And what they are is cardboard inserts that are kind of like a disc, like a diskette. And what they do is when you put these inserts into the drive, it pushes the head back and it protects the head from vibrating and moving around during transport. Because if you don't, and the head starts moving around and vibrating, you could mess up the head. Then the disk drive becomes inoperable. You can't, it'll be, taken out of alignment. The discs will be hard to read or write to. So you want to protect the heads on these. It's the most sensitive part, really, when you're moving this stuff around. Now, why do I have 2 of these here? Because Commodore had different versions. This one, for example, is 251171-02, and this one is 1171-version 03. And you can see that there's a difference between the two on the top part. That's the important part. You can see that the 03 version, this tab here is a little bit shorter in width than the 02 version. This tab here doesn't matter if it's there or not. There's enough of the cardboard that you could just, like a diskette, just put your thumb on it and pull it out. So this is kind of irrelevant. But the important part is this difference. And why is that important? Because the 02 version was made for the 1541 drive. This will fit in the 1541 drive just fine. The latch will close and you're good to go. But if you try to do this, use this version on the 1571, for example, you'll see that this only goes so far and then it stops right there. That's as far as it'll go. So this is no good for the 1571. But there is this 03 version, and the 03 version here not only works on the 1541, but it also works on the 1571. So you can see if I put this guy in here, 1571 goes in just fine. It clicks in place, and there goes the latch. So the nice thing with the 03 version, like I said, it's more versatile. It'll work on both drives. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be reproducing these because I do ship out a lot of drives. And I do transport a lot of drives around. So basically this will work on the 1541 and 1571. So this is a template that I'm going to use. So I'm going to show you the easiest way to do this. The cardboard. So this is cardboard. It's a little bit rigid, so it doesn't kind of waffle around too much. So what I went and done is I went and tried different cardboards, finally found the right cardboard that I want to use. It's a little bit less thick than this, okay, but it's very inexpensive. And you can fit 2 of these on an 8.5 piece of cardstock. You can always trace these, trace an original, or I'm actually going to give you a link to a PDF that already has 2 of them on, that's the true size. So that way you already have a template that you can print out if you like. I'll leave that in the description, but you can trace it and cut it out with a pair of scissors or with an X-Acto knife. And even though it's not as thick, this will still work. It's still thick enough. I already tested it and tried it and was pretty satisfied with it. But we're going to take it a little step further and make this a little thicker, and I'll show you how I'm going to do that. So this cardstock, this is what I use. I'm going to leave the Amazon link in my description of this video. It's probably the most inexpensive cardstock, and it's 300 GSM, which is a good thickness for this. It makes it easy to cut. I don't monetize my videos, and I don't make money off of any of the Amazon links. I'm not affiliated with Amazon. I've never intended to make money off these videos. They're just for fun. So just know that I have no bias. So you can use whatever cardstock, but I found this one in particular that you'll see in the description to be the least expensive for the thickness that we need here. So that's the cardstock. But how am I going to make this just a little bit thicker? Well, I want my reproduction to have all the writing on it. I wanted to make it look kind of, original. And the PDF files in my description is a printout of an original thing with all the writing and everything in it. Okay. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to print that PDF on sticker paper. Okay. So the cardstock is 8.5 by 11. Okay. The sticker paper I'm using is 8.5 by 11. And I'm going to put a link to this to the Amazon merchandise in my description as well. Again, I don't make money off of the links or anything like that. The nice thing is this was a good price point for 100 sheets. I use this. I also print stickers. I don't use sticker paper for stickers. I use vinyl, but in this case, I'm using paper for what I'm doing here. But I'm using a cutting machine, so I'm not going to cut this by hand with the scissors. I'm going to be using a cutting machine. So this paper is what I use for other things as well. The nice thing about this paper is that it's compatible with both inkjets and laser. So this is black and white. So you can use a laser, and that'll be great. You can use an inkjet. Just don't get it wet, because obviously you'll have smeared ink if you do, unless you put a layer of UV, clear UV over it. The laser, make sure you use a real laser printer, because some of the other cheap printers aren't really lasers. So in other words, they don't heat the toner hot enough onto the paper. And if you use a cheap printer or a cheap toner, your toner will smear. So you don't want that either. So use a good quality laser printer or an inkjet. So anyways, that's the sticker paper. So once I print this out, I'm going to print 2 of these. That's what the template I've made is for. On sticker paper is 8.5 by 11. I put the sticker paper and I stick it onto the cardstock. So now this made this a little bit thicker, almost as thick as the original, but it'll obviously be more rigid as well. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to show you how this goes. Really simple, right? And again, at least I've already done the homework for you on the cardstock to use and the sticker paper and all that stuff. So look in the description for that. So stay tuned. Let's print this out and let's cut a couple of templates here. Okay, so here I have the printout. It's on sticker paper. So when you're printing this out, your printer might say that you might exceed the boundaries of the paper. And I just ignore that because there is around 1/4 of an inch on each side already, which is usually the boundaries of a paper when you're printing. But just make sure your margins are set to maximum. And when you print this out, I'd print it out on a just regular paper first before you wipe out your sticker paper unnecessarily. But when you print it out, from each side of the template here, it should be 5 1/4 inches. So that way you'll know it's to scale if you measure from side to side here on one of these, and it should be 5 1/4 inches. So just keep that in mind. Also, when you're printing sticker paper, just keep in mind which is the front and the back of your sticker paper. So usually in most printers that feed like this and turn and output like that, the sticker part is on the bottom. On laser printers that have a single sheet feed in the front or a multi-sheet feed in the front, it's usually the print side is up on the top. So just make sure, print it out on a regular piece of paper, put an X on the paper or mark the paper like you see here, and print it out once, and that way you'll know whether your paper, what side is up and what side is down. So you want to get the sticker side correct, right? So anyways, so I have this printed out. Here's the cardstock. Okay. And get this paper peeled a little bit here. Okay. So then all I do is just line this up. Doesn't have to be perfect since you're going to cut it anyways. you want it close, and then just kind of lay it down without getting any creases on it. Okay, and there you go. Now you have nice, thick, see, it's a little bit more rigid now with the sticker paper on it than it was before, and it's a little bit thicker. So now all you have to do at this point is just cut it out with an X-Acto knife, okay, or a pair of scissors. I'm going to be using a die cut printer already, so let me go ahead and cut these out really quick, and then we'll just test it out and compare it to the original. But you can see it's pretty close. It's got all the writing, it's got the version number, all this other stuff on it, and yeah, that's all there is to it. All right, so stay tuned. Let's get this thing printed out, or let me get this thing cut out, and then we'll wrap up this quick little video. Okay, so I got these printed out. Again, you can use an X-Acto knife or scissors, but I have a die cut printer, so okay, so not too bad. Let's see how this goes here. There we go. Just like the original, it's nice and thick, doesn't flop around. Okay, so there you have it. The printing is just pretty much like the original. Okay, a little off on the cut here, but you know, nonetheless, it doesn't have to be precise. So, and then the bottom here, even though this version here has notches in it, they're irrelevant. They really don't do anything. So you still have enough to grab it with your thumb and take it out of the drive. All right. So the template for this, there's a PDF, there's a JPEG. I left a couple of versions in the description that you can download, and it's already got all the writing and everything on it. And yeah, it'll be ready for you to roll. Okay. So I hope this gives you an easy way to, you know, make your own transit templates, you know, moving forward. All right. Well, like I always say, you know, enjoy life, live for today. Life is short. Peace out.